Hi, everyone. Gives me great pleasure to welcome you today to this meeting to celebrate the beginning of what I think will be a great long-term relationship with one of the world's leading global technology firms, Mphasis. It's been a phenomenal last several months, conversations that were begun, the last 2 years with Nitin, Rakesh, and the great team that he's got there at Mphasis. Today, we're going to be allowing 4 or 5 people to discuss what this means for Alberta, what this means for Calgary, and then we'll open it up to questions from the media. And so it gives me great pleasure first to introduce Premier Jason Kenney, and following that, I'll be introducing Nitin, and then we'll go to the others. Premier.
Well, thanks very much, David, and welcome everybody. It's an honor to join with Mayor Nenshi, UFC President McCauley, and Mphasis CEO Nitin Rakesh for a game-changing announcement about Alberta's economic future. There's no other way to put it. Today is big news for our province in terms of economic diversification, advanced education, and innovation. The stars are aligning for Alberta. We've got Canada's youngest and most highly skilled workforce, Canada's most competitive business environment, and strong incentives in support of investment, jobs, and growth. Job creators all over the world are taking note. One of them is with us today. I'm delighted to announce that Mphasis, a global leader in information technology services, will establish its Canadian headquarters in Calgary. This means lots of great jobs in the near future. Mphasis expects to hire between 500 and 1,000 staff in Calgary over the next couple of years. But beyond that, in the longer term, this means building Alberta's capacity in leading-edge innovation, and that means driving forward economic diversification. Because today, Mphasis and the University of Calgary are announcing a partnership that'll bring tremendous and lasting benefits to our province. The focus of this new partnership is quantum computing, one of the most promising emerging high-tech sectors. The use of quantum computing to solve complex problems faster than classical computers has applications across a huge range of sectors, from logistics and energy to fintech and biotech. Alberta will be ready to drive progress in all of these fields thanks to this partnership. Together, Mphasis and the U of C will invest to create the Quantum City Centre of Excellence dedicated to promoting commercial applications for advanced computing. And Mphasis will serve as the Quantum City's anchor company, drawing in other enterprises alongside it. The goal is to make Alberta a force to be reckoned with in quantum computing, machine learning, and AI, economically but also intellectually. Post-secondary students will have incredible opportunities to master the most sought-after skills through this venture, and they aren't the only ones. This partnership will also establish Sparkle Calgary, a center where people looking to make a career change can upskill or reskill with a focus on AI and automation technology. So as the labor market shifts, workers will have the resources they need to adapt. And as quantum computing, automation, and artificial intelligence mature, Alberta will become a destination of choice for investment capital and talent in those growing sectors. We'll have all the right factors in place for diversification to fuel a true high-tech renaissance. There's a lot to be excited about here. Other speakers will have more details to share, and let me just say thank you to everyone who was involved in securing this partnership that is so critical to Alberta's future. It took collaboration between the city of Calgary, thanks to Mayor Nenshi and Economic Development Calgary and their team, the university, and thanks to them as well, and strong leadership from Invest Alberta. Thank you to David and your team. With that collaboration, our provincial economic development is moving forward, and we're getting the pieces in place. Many thanks to Mr. Rakesh and the board of Mphasis for your faith in Alberta. Your trust will pay off in the years to come as this partnership flourishes, producing groundbreaking work and great minds. I'm looking forward to seeing the results, and thank you. Back to you, David.
Thank you, Premier Kenney. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the visionary leader of Mphasis, which is one of the fastest growing technology firms in the world right now. And I'll pass it over to you, Nitin.
Thank you, David and Premier Kenney, for your warm welcome. I do really wish we were in different times hosting an in-person launch. However, we probably have our next best alternative as we do this event virtually. Happy to share the screen, if not the stage, with all of you. This is a milestone announcement in many ways. We view this as a multifaceted partnership that is a win-win for everyone involved, and a great showcase of private-public partnership, a catalyst for tech transformation, as Premier just announced. Mphasis prides itself on innovative technology and services. We serve marquee customers across the globe, including the world's largest logistics company, a transcontinental railroad giant, 6 top global banks, 11 out of the top 15 mortgage lenders, and 3 top global insurance companies. We employ over 30,000 employees across 16 countries. We also have some marquee clients in Canada already. Mphasis has seen tremendous success in expanding into continental Europe for both new business and talent. Recently, Mr. Boris Johnson, PM of the UK, announced our UK expansion, and we're setting up a whole new center outside of London. We would like to leverage our learning and success that we've learned in expanding in other markets in Canada as well. We've also established new centers in different markets recently. In the past 12 months, we've opened centers for talent in Mexico, Costa Rica, and Taiwan, and we are confident that this will be a similar success as we embark on this journey with Calgary. Talent is a magnet for companies. Building talent at University of Calgary and here in Alberta province strengthens both Mphasis and Alberta as a global technology hub and a leader in IT, quantum computing, blockchain, fintech, data, AI, and many other fields. The engine to upskill and reskill regional talent called Sparkle Calgary. We will leverage experiential learning programs with Mphasis proprietary platform in collaboration with the University of Calgary to generate a pipeline of next-gen technology talent to meet regional skill demand. Mphasis is also co-investing with the University of Calgary to establish a Quantum City Center of Excellence, or a COE, that will be dedicated to promoting the commercial application of quantum computing. We will act as the anchor company committed to growing applications of quantum science to users in the global market. Industry analysts have already recognized Mphasis as a challenger in the space of quantum services. We've prioritized quantum computing and were recently recognized as one of the fastest growing services companies in this area for using quantum computers for machine learning, optimization, simulation problems, amongst others. The university will provide anchor for research and invest in quantum science and engineering to enable growth of the quantum city. The aim is to double the fundamental research in quantum science and engineering and production of highly qualified graduates, while simultaneously providing the industry-facing opportunities for collaboration, company creation, and technology development. Mphasis also works with quantum hardware enterprises to create solutions for sectors likely to be disrupted by quantum computing. It's an opportunity for companies in the region to leverage quantum to superscale and grow rapidly. We have a deep tech briefing scheduled for tomorrow, and I'd welcome all of you to participate in that as we detail out our plans for the Quantum City initiative. The strategic collaboration is projected to support economic growth and high-quality job creation. We are looking to add between 500 to 1,000 employees over the course of the next 24 to 36 months as we expand on these initiatives in the region. I'm very excited about this partnership. We've been focused on this for the last 12 to 18 months, and I would like to thank Premier, Mayor, Ed, David, Patrick, and all your partnership and camaraderie for what we've been able to accomplish today. We are delighted that we're marching ahead with the agenda to innovate Alberta's education system, expand opportunities in the IT industry, and to promote the adoption of quantum computing and tech throughout the province. Our journey together has just begun. Onwards and upwards from here. Thank you. Back to you, David.
Thanks, Nitin. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce Mayor Nenshi.
Great. Thanks so much, David. Thank you, Premier, and thanks in particular to Nitin, Rakesh, and the team at Mphasis. What a great day. I am very excited that we're here now. Now, it may feel like a bit of deja vu. Here we are announcing a huge global champion in the tech industry based in India, announcing their Canadian headquarters here in Calgary. And I am so happy that we're here doing exactly that. And, success, as we know, has many parents, and there are so many people to thank for this. My colleagues at Calgary Economic Development, represented today by Patrick Mattern, the incredible forward-thinking visionary president of the University of Calgary, Dr. Ed McCauley, who you're going to hear from in a moment, the folks led by David Knightleg and Invest Alberta for their work in this area. But I would be remiss if I didn't say a very, very special thank you to Geeta Sankapanavar, who is not just the board chair of the University of Calgary, but before she was the chair of the University of Calgary, was really the driving force behind the introduction to Mphasis for Calgary. And I just remember her coming up to me one day and saying, I know a guy in a company that is a perfect match for Calgary. How can I help? And so Geeta, thank you so much for that. And thank you to all of you for the hard work that comes to today. You know, I just get to go on trade missions, shake hands, meet people, and come to announcements. But there's a lot of work that happens beyond all of that. And I want to really say thank you to all of you. As I keep reminding people, 2020 was going to be a year of big travel for me. I was planning on doing missions all over the world to meet global champions and bring them back to Alberta. And as it turned out, I got one trip in as COVID started and landed back in Calgary literally 3 days before the world changed. And of course, that was a trip to India. And that mission is paying great dividends. And in particular, Dr. Macaulay was with me in India. We learned a lot about each other and about India, but I know that he had very successful meetings with Mphasis in Bangalore, and that work has really continued ever since then. It's hard for me to overstate the importance of today's announcement. For those not familiar with Mphasis, it is a true global champion, one of the world leaders in the work that it does. And the fact that you are choosing Calgary as your Canadian headquarters and as the entry point of your work into Canada is deeply meaningful for us. It validates so much of the work we've been doing here for so long, but much more important than that, it builds the platform here. And it builds the ecosystem here as Calgary continues to attract tech companies and others to this place, cementing our spot as a center for innovation and digital technology in the world. As per our economic development strategy, Calgary in the new economy. I'm contractually bound to say the words Calgary in the new economy every single time I speak in public. So tick that off. But you know, even though in this incredibly tough year that we've had, so many people have been hurt by the pandemic and by the economic crisis. We've had so many bright spots. Our creative and film industries have never been stronger. We've recently announced the largest film production in the history of Canada to come here. We've had companies like Mphasis and Endeavor and Unity coming, and many more to come in the months ahead. And it really is a signal to young people in particular that Calgary remains a place of great innovation, of great entrepreneurship, a place where you want to make a living and a place where you want to make your life. And to me, that is the really critical piece here. And we're creating options for the talent that we've got. You know, our economic development strategy is based on 4 pillars: talent, place, business environment, and innovation. And today's announcement really is about all 4 of those. Before I wrap up, I'll give you a little pitch, which is last week or the week before, I also had the chance to launch a global innovation competition, the Mayor's Innovation Challenge, based at getting the best pre-commercial, commercial, and policy ideas in the world on clean energy and our path towards net zero, happening right here in Calgary. You can find out more at calgary.ca/Mayor's Challenge. But ultimately, I'm excited about today. I'm excited about the momentum, and I am deeply grateful to Nitin Rakesh and his team at Mphasis for taking a bet on Calgary. And I guarantee you that bet will pay off. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor Nenshi. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce President of the University of Calgary, Mr. Ed Macaulay.
Thanks, David. Premier, Mayor Nenshi, and Nitin, it's great to see everybody. Years from now, Calgary's going to see this as one of its best weeks because this is the start of something big. And I would like to thank Mphasis and the government of Alberta for their partnership in making it happen. I'd also like to acknowledge the work that's been done by the Quantum Alberta ecosystem. Exciting work has happened across the province, including at the Universities of Alberta and Lethbridge. It should be a cautionary tale to anyone who counts Alberta out. Albertans are by nature enterprising people. We seek out new ideas, new horizons, and find ways to break through, which is why in the exciting horizon that is quantum technologies, the Quantum Cities Center of Excellence will be found right here at home. It's testament to the benefit of a great research university, because great research universities don't only create knowledge, don't only solve social or environmental problems, we help diversify the economy and help it grow. We don't do this alone. Just as UCalgary's entrepreneurial approach reflects our hometown spirit, we believe better things happen in partnership with others, which is how the idea of a quantum city came to be. What does it mean for Calgary? It means a new wave of companies, new jobs in new fields, with talent UCalgary has helped produce and technology UCalgary has helped develop. This technology won't only create its own industry, it will fuel advances in others, in energy, in agriculture, in health, and in finance. Today's announcement means the leadership UCalgary has shown in the quantum space will grow. We've had 130 academics working in a transdisciplinary fashion to help make us a leader. There will be more. Exploring this exciting field, from nanotechnology to artificial intelligence to the quantum internet, Calgary and Calgarians will be at the heart of what today sounds a little bit like science fiction. The quantum internet will literally teleport vast amounts of data across huge distances. But what sounds like science fiction today will sound like a paycheck tomorrow. That's what happened in Pittsburgh, thanks to its great universities. In the midst of a steel collapse, they started a robotics institute. Today, Pittsburgh is a leading robotics hub. It's a technology leader and medical cluster. That can happen here too. Because as the technology and people cultivated by the Quantum Hub seep into Calgary, they will spin off even newer technology in new companies until Calgary and Alberta aren't only the energy capital, we will be a quantum capital too. That's why this week is the start of something big. And I'd like to thank the Premier for his partnership and Nitin for his. Together, we're going to make exciting things happen right here in Calgary. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, President Macaulay. Finally, I want to introduce Patrick Mattern, our colleague at the Calgary Economic Development, for our final words, and then we'll move to questions. Patrick?
There always has to be one, and it was me. Thank you very much, David. And I'm always reminded the last speaker before lunch, the Orson Welles quote about a very rotund actor about it's not what you can do for your country, but really what is for lunch. As you've said, today's announcement is the product of a great deal of work behind the scenes by many people throughout. Calgary Economic Development was pleased to be part of the collaboration that helped facilitate this investment. Mphasis has been a prospective client since 2019. It is through consistent dialogue and understanding of their needs that we created a Calgary solution. And that opportunity to work collaboratively with the University of Calgary, especially during the visit to India in 2020, was a dynamic shift in that relationship with Mphasis. We are thrilled Mphasis has chosen Calgary as the Canadian headquarters and its North American quantum computing hub. As our relationship with Mphasis team grew over the last few years, Calgary emerged as the natural fit for them, given the extraordinary programming of our post-secondaries, especially at the University of Calgary. Mphasis is known globally for its cloud and its cognitive services, and it will help propel Calgary's growing tech ecosystem to new levels to create hundreds of local jobs. Mphasis and the Quantum Center of Excellence are examples of the momentum we are seeing from foreign direct investment coming into Calgary and collaborating with the existing players in our city. New investors to our community bring new technologies and a new global perspective that adds strength to Calgary's tech and business ecosystems. We are excited about big announcements like today's, but there's a great deal happening at all levels of Calgary's tech and innovation ecosystems. Not all investments are this big, nor are they all in the information technology sectors. Calgary has been winning business in agriculture with Lovingly Made Ingredients and iFarm, aerospace with ASQS out of Austria recently, energy from Amazon, health sciences, fintech with Altia ABM out of the UK, and companies in cybersecurity. Not to mention the homegrown companies which continue to win international accolades. In addition to supporting our local companies in these challenging times, Calgary Economic Development continues to build its pipeline of opportunities in key markets around the world to attract more companies and more investment. It's a great deal of work behind the scenes, but the team is passionate about this city. And we are optimistic there will be more announcements like the one today from Mphasis and the University of Calgary. Thank you very much for allowing us to have the time, and back to you, David.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Patrick. We're now going to go to questions from the media. Before we do that, though, I just want to say a quick thank you to several people that you're not seeing right now. Deepa, who's, I think, clocking in close to 1 a.m. It's been a running joke between Nitin and I that, Deepa's night times scare us both. We don't know when she's on or off anymore. But I also want to thank Alex from the Invest Alberta team, Brad from CED at making today possible. We're going to go to questions. The first question I'll give to Premier Kenney. It is, what is the plan for helping retrain talent in Alberta, like the current workforce who have lost their jobs due to downturns in the energy sector? Premier?
Yeah, thanks, David. Hugely important question. And that's part of the plan is the Jobs Now program that we launched 2 weeks ago, which provides up to 25% Government of Alberta support to train or retrain workers. The key feature of this program is it is employer-led and demand-driven. And employers who benefit from it have to commit to hiring and employing a trainee for at least 12 months. They don't get the full benefit of the government training funds unless 12 months have transpired with that person employed. So the challenge we're facing, obviously, is that we continue to have unacceptably high levels of unemployment at about 9% in Alberta, the second highest in the country. And that is partly a lag effect from 5 really tough years. We have, of course, tens of thousands of folks from often white-collar jobs who've been displaced, many from the energy sector, through consolidation and cost reductions in the past 5 years. And many of them are unemployed or underemployed. And we also have a lot of great tradespeople, who many of them in parts of rural Alberta, who've also been lost work or seen their incomes decline dramatically with cost cutting in the energy sector. And so it is, I think the single most important challenge for the province now is to do everything we can to give those folks opportunities to realize their potential and make good livings. And that we believe the Jobs Now program, which represents, by the way, the single largest investment in job training in Alberta history, in addition to the other 400, that's a if I'm not mistaken, $300 million spending commitment, partly funded by the Government of Canada, half of it funded by the Government of Alberta. And that's in addition to about $400 million of what I would call more conventional job training programs, including the Canada-Alberta Job Grant. So those are some of the things that we're doing, but the entire Skills for Jobs agenda, which is a focus in our post-secondary sector, is also a key part of this. Micro-credentialing, another key strategy. And so we believe all of these things together can take some of those folks who are unemployed and prepare them for the kinds of jobs that we're announcing today.
Thank you, Premier. The next question I have is for Mphasis CEO Nitin Rakesh. And Nitin, please feel free to comment on the previous question as well. I know this is an area that's close to your heart, but there is a question. So if you want to respond to that, there's an additional question coming, which is specifically about the nature of the quantum opportunity that you see, and a sub-question around any specific plans for hardware R&D related to quantum.
Thank you for that, David. I think I would just add two things to what Premier said. One, the vision behind Sparkle Calgary really is to be able to pivot the core skills that exist in the market. I mean, even if you look at the oil and gas sector, and yes, it hasn't been a net job creator given the massive shift away, into new technologies. But there's a ton of data expertise that sits at the heart of the oil and gas industry. Can we take that ability to apply data knowledge, data science scientists, and really skill them, upskill them towards cloud computing or data platforms that are being used for consumer data, personalization systems. That's the vision that we want to use with the Sparkle Calgary platform. We will actually use experiential learning platforms, as I mentioned in my remarks, and the partnership with the University of Calgary really will enable for us to be able to mass adopt these programs for the broader population as well. So that's very much part of this, making sure that we are able to match the skill shortage, given the new tech skills that are needed, especially in cloud computing and AI. I think the whole quantum, aspect is very much linked to the value chain of artificial intelligence. There are problems that are far too complex to be solved with conventional computers. I think we're really in early stages of the quantum revolution, as Ed mentioned, and getting in there early, establishing a foundation, both from an R&D perspective, but even more importantly, from the point of view of actually having the right tie-ups in the ecosystem to start solving those problems that require quantum capabilities. And we already have live clients at Mphasis today that are really keenly working with us, solving problems on optimization, fraud detection, cybersecurity, multiple other use cases, from a network optimization for a railroad company or a logistics companies. I think all of these are in the consideration set, and as we do the briefing tomorrow, we'll be able to give you a little bit more color on the deeper aspects of what these will look like between the university and Mphasis.
Thanks very much, Nitin. If there's no further questions, I just want to thank everybody for attending today. We look forward to seeing Nitin and his whole team here in person as soon as that's acceptable. And I want to, just say a special thanks to the people that are represented here. The Premier led with the remarks on collaboration. It's been a great experience working with Nitin and his team across the teams that are here, and we look forward to Nitin welcoming you here as promised as soon as we're able to open up the skies.
Look forward to it, David. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody.